Loving the process is part of the solution. Hating the process is part of the problem. Welcome back to this week's Catapulting Commission Sales Blog. Happy Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. Look, I want to talk to you about something. Recent data suggests that there are 7 to 8 reasons that consumers hate salespeople. One of the questions that's often DM'd to me or reached out to me by clients is, how do I do something to sell more revenue? How do I do something to generate more commissions? And usually my response is, talk me through your sales process. What do you love and what do you hate about it? And I look at what people tell me that they hate about their sales process. Then I look at the data that says, here's what consumers hate about salespeople. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of them, but 3 things that consumers hate about sales professionals or salespeople. 1, they talk too much. 2, they fail to understand their needs. 3, they have a lack of follow-up. So we're going to address those 3 issues and talk about how to improve that to improve your overall outcomes. But more importantly, we're going to talk about loving the process. You see, sales requires you to love each step of the way. If you only love the end of the sales process, which is where you ask somebody to do business with you and they say yes, you take their credit card information or you sign your contract or they use your product, whatever the situation is, that is the simple part. The reason I say that is the simple part because if you've done everything else well, usually that's the outcome. And if you only focus on that, your prospect can tell. So when a sales rep or a client reaches out to me and says, hey, I'm not having success in my sales process, I'm not having tons of sales, and I ask the question, what do you love and what do you hate about your sales process? Here's a couple things people say they hate about their sales process, and in reality, you should love. And it lines up to what consumers dislike about salespeople. One of the things consumers dislike about salespeople is they talk too much, right? Have you ever heard this, right? Sales reps, I can't tell you how many times I've had someone who's not in sales tell me, oh, I could be in sales. I have the gift of gab, right? Well, I agree with the consumers. When you talk too much, you're not doing a good job. Talking too much typically is avoiding all the information you need to extract in order to have a good sales presentation, which leads me to when salespeople say they hate. Salespeople say they'll hate the discovery or the needs analysis because they feel too inquisitive with their prospect. So let's high level this. A discovery/needs analysis is a part in the sales presentation where you're asking probing questions, where you're asking questions to uncover information that will be relevant to your prospect. You're uncovering information so you can present a solution to the problem your product or service solves. The only reason a sales rep hates this process is because they're not comfortable within the direction they're going in. They're not comfortable that they have enough product knowledge or situational knowledge about their prospect to advance the conversation further. The reason your prospect hates this process is because it comes across as you talking too much. A good discovery, a good needs analysis will have the prospect speaking way more than you, right? It's the old saying, you have 2 ears, 1 mouth. You should listen more. So to avoid that complaint about salespeople of talking too much, ensure you focus on the discovery needs analysis. This is how you build value. Salespeople, here's how you make it easy for you. Set the agenda. If you set an agenda with your prospect in advance that you are going to ask a lot of questions, it makes this process fairly easy. And the questions you ask, we can do a whole nother blog series, but they need to be open-ended questions that have your prospect speaking. So a simple phrase to do to make your customer feel comfortable and you feel comfortable is say, hey, look, I'm going to ask you a few questions with all honesty. I just want to extract and gain some information, some insight. This will take me 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever long it is. I just want to extract some information. This will help me present to you or share with you only information that's relevant to you. All right. As a consumer, I would appreciate if you share that with me. As a sales professional, it makes my life easier. So to focus on doing a proper discovery or needs analysis, ensure that you set the agenda, let your prospect know so that you're not talking too much. The second part to that is consumers hate when sales reps fail to understand their needs. The only reason you're failing to understand their needs is you did a bad discovery or needs analysis. So we got over that hurdle of, hey, you're talking too much, so set the agenda. When it comes to failing to understand a prospect's needs, sales reps will often present the solution they want to sell, not the solution that your prospect needs. Now, this can be a forever debate. Start with your highest product, drop down, present what your customer needs, or present what your customer absolutely needs, not what they want, vice versa. We can go around that for forever. The bottom line is consumers hate when you present something that they don't need. So when it comes to presenting your solution, presenting your product, to empathize with your prospect, you understand their needs, you have to anchor down with questions. You have to anchor them down during their needs analysis. So if a prospect tells you that they are struggling and they're losing productivity in their business, and you are doing your discovery process, you immediately say, just to clarify, Mr. Prospect, you just said this XYZ problem is preventing you from running at maximum productivity. Yes. Can you tell me more about that? So I just anchor them down to double down to acknowledge and verify that I've identified what the problem is they're experiencing, and I've asked them to tell me more about it. Many times, sales reps have this script or this agenda outline. And we just talked about having the agenda, and they bullet point. Did I talk about this? Did I talk about this? Did I talk about this? So a sales rep is more concerned with going through their script as opposed to anchoring down and acknowledging what it is your prospect needs. So don't fail to understand your customer's needs. They hate that. And last but not least, lack of follow-up. If the consumer hates that salespeople don't follow up, I don't even know how to respond to this. 80% of sales are made after the 5th follow-up. Why are we not following up? The real reason sales reps struggle to follow up is 1, it's not scheduled. 2, they don't see the value. Here's simple hacks to solve that. Scheduled follow-up. The moment you leave, we've talked about this in previous blogs, you should use some form of automation to ensure your follow-up is scheduled. At bare minimum, it needs to be on your calendar and let your prospect know you're going to follow up. 2, when reps fail to follow up, it tells that prospect you aren't important to me anymore. It tells that prospect I found something better elsewhere. And that's not usually the case. Reps do that because they don't see the value. If you're in your sales career and you're in your industry and you're in this for the long haul, eventually everybody becomes a customer. If you're in this for the short haul, for the momentary excitement, for the quick commission, your prospects can tell, and sales reps usually fail to follow up effectively. Nobody is going to get upset in the follow-up. If a prospect point blank says, I don't want to do business with you, never follow up with me again, then we go away. But as long as you get permission to follow up, it is your duty to follow up with that prospect. That will help you generate more sales, generate higher commissions, and overall be more happy and love the sales career you're in. Consumers hate when sales reps don't follow up. So, to put a bow tie on this, let's love the sales process. Love the discovery, love the needs analysis, love presenting your solution by anchoring down and acknowledging your prospects' needs, acknowledging their problems, and let's love the follow-up because really that's where we make the money. That's what I got for you this week. I'm Anthony Garcia. This is the Catapult to Commission Sales Blog. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you next week.